Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. S. Devikala, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry, SRM Institute of Science and Technology. In today's class, we'll see about what is environment, what are its types, what we know about the different environmental segments. So, the word environment means surround, envelope. So, the term environment, it comes from the French word environ and means that everything surrounds us. The totality of the surrounding conditions for comfortable living of any organism. So environment is the area in which we live, we know very well. So what is natural environment? Natural environment in which an organism can live naturally on this earth. In other words, wildness is called natural environment of the organism. Wildness means the organism lives and interacts with natural atmosphere such as earth, rocks, and air. So environment basically it consists of two factors. One is biotic factor, the other one is abiotic factor. Biotic factor means living components in an environment, whereas abiotic means non-living components in an environment. So there are two components, namely biotic and abiotic. So this slide you can see all the biotic components, all the living organisms, animals, trees, plants, algae, green algae, and so on. So the abiotic components, it includes sunlight, water, and other things. So biotic factors and abiotic factors that surround us and with which we interact, these biotic and abiotic components are in dynamic state, they are not static. They constantly affect each other and cannot be isolated from one another. So all the biotic factors are listed here, all living organisms, plants, animals, even microbes. Abiotic components, it includes water, soil, minerals, gases, temperature, humidity, wind, then light nutrients like carbon, oxygen, phosphorus, nitrogen, etc. So we know the components starting from the producer, they are nothing but autotrophs. Since they are autotrophs, they can prepare their own food with the help of sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. So consumer, it depends on the producer. We know very well, example animal. And then these are the different trophic levels. Okay, decomposer, they break down chemicals from producer and consumer into simpler form which can be reused, for example microorganism, fungi and bacteria. And then there are two types of environment, one is natural environment, the other one is man-made. Let us see one by one. So the natural environment, it includes air, water, soil, land, radiation, forest, wildlife, flora and fauna. Whereas man-made environment, it includes transportation, housing, agricultural and livestock farms, aquatic farms, industries, dams, energies such as hydro energy, thermal energy, nuclear energy, etc. So the different components of environment divided into four: atmosphere, sphere of gas; hydrosphere, sphere of water; lithosphere, sphere of rocks; biosphere, where we live. So the different components again, hydrosphere and atmosphere. So atmosphere, it is wherein the region surrounding the earth is known as atmosphere. It is generally a mixture of gases surrounding the earth. The second one is hydro. All the water bodies on the earth's surface are included in hydrosphere. It includes oceans, rivers, glaciers, lakes, ponds, and so on. Then comes the third one, lithosphere. The uppermost part of the earth crust is known as lithosphere. It includes oil and its particles, rock, metals, etc. The next one, biosphere, the life-supporting mantle of the earth extending from few kilometers into the atmosphere to the deep ocean is known as biosphere. The region of the earth where life exists is known as biosphere. Example, the earth. The different segments of environment, again atmosphere, hydro, litho, bio, summary. Then let us move on to ecosystems. Ecosystem is nothing but living things in a given area. Non-living chemical and physical factors of their environment linked together through nutrient cycle and energy flow. There are two types of ecosystem. One is natural, the other one is man-made. Natural, terrestrial, it includes forest, grassland, desert. Whereas aquatic, you have freshwater and marine water. Under freshwater, you have lotic and lentic. Lotic, running water, whereas lentic, stagnant water. On the other hand, artificial or man-made ecosystem, aquarium, zoos, zoological parks, and so on. So here, organism, population, community, as a whole, we have to call it as ecosystem. So an ecosystem is a natural unit consisting of all plants, animals, and microorganisms. That is, it includes biotic factors in an area functioning together with all of the non-living physical. That means abiotic factors of the environment. There are two types of ecosystem, terrestrial and aquatic. Terrestrial means on land. So a terrestrial ecosystem is an ecosystem found only on landforms. 6 primary terrestrial ecosystems exist are tundra, taiga, temperate deciduous forest, tropical rainforest, grassland, and desert. Aquatic, two major aquatic ecosystems, marine and freshwater. So if I say freshwater ecosystem is an aquatic ecosystem. It includes lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, and wetlands. These have no salt content in contrast with the marine. So that only they are termed as fresh without salt, no salt content. Then there are two types of freshwater ecosystem. One is lotic ecosystem, the other one is lentic. Lotic ecosystem are also called flowing water or running water. It includes rivers, streams, creeks, brooks, springs, whereas lentic means stagnant, standing water, lake, pond, swamp, marshes, vernal pools, etc. Then the marine ecosystem, it includes seas and ocean. These have more substantial salt content and greater biodiversity when compared to freshwater ecosystem. The next one, let us move on to atmosphere. As we all know, it is the blanket of gases surrounding the Earth. It extends to a height of about 2000 kilometers from Earth's surface. The major components of atmosphere are nitrogen and oxygen, while minor components are argon, carbon dioxide, and some trace gases. So, in order to define atmosphere, it is the mixture of various gases, water vapor, and subatomic particles that entirely covers the Earth, extending outward several thousand kilometers. So, different gases with the mole fraction given in this slide for your reference. Let us see in detail about the structure of atmosphere. It starts from troposphere, then stratosphere, maximum ozone, and then mesosphere, meteoroid, and then thermosphere. The temperature is very high, around 1200 degrees centigrade in this region. Let us see one by one. The first one is tropo. So it is the lowest portion of the atmosphere, extends up to 16 km at equator, and then temperature decreases at the rate of 5 to 7 degrees centigrade per kilometer. As we go higher and higher, the temperature decreases. Strong vertical air movement responsible for rapid and complete mixing. And then the second layer is stratosphere. It is above the troposphere and it extends up to 50 to 55 km. So ozone layer is in this layer. And then the third one is mesosphere. It is layer above stratosphere and it extends up to 80 km. Temperature decreases slowly with altitude and then sharply to about minus 75 degrees centigrade. Then thermosphere. Temperature increases rapidly with increase in height. Heating of this layer is due to absorption of solar energy. Within the thermosphere, there is a layer of charged particle known as ionosphere, where we can find ions. And then the last one is exosphere. It exists outermost sphere. So it exists above the ionosphere and extend up to 2000 km above the Earth. This layer is almost airless and empty. It contains hydrogen gas in ionized state, very high temperature, greater than 1200 degrees centigrade. So in today's class, we have seen what is environment, what are the different types, what is ecosystem and its types, and what are the different layers of atmosphere, especially troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermo, and then finally exosphere. I hope you have understood. Thank you.